It seems like almost every time there is a terrorist attack now, we are almost instantaneously plunged into a divisive political debate. And that seems to be happening again in wake of the attack in Lower Manhattan, this guy with a truck from Uzbekistan killing 8 people, wounding 11 others. I think one of the things that is just so frustrating, not to mention heartbreaking about that attack is, how do you protect every street, every bike path against some insane guy with either an ideological cause or who's just a madman or who thinks he should kill in the name of Islam, from running people over? When it comes to guns, you can have security checks and metal detectors. Anyway, in this particular case, it was just hours later that President Trump and Chuck Schumer were engaged in a war of words. And a little backstory here, just a few weeks ago, after the Las Vegas massacre, I took a lot of heat from some of you on the liberal side because I said that after all of those people had been killed in that horrible mass shooting, that maybe Hillary Clinton and some Democrats should have just waited one day, I said, before, blaming the Republicans for gun control. As it turned out, it wasn't clear that gun control would have prevented that particular attack. I didn't say don't have the debate, as some people distorted my remarks, but I did get a lot of heat. Well, now I'm going to say the same thing on the other side, because this is my position consistently, that, we don't have to, in a nanosecond, be involved in a politically divisive debate. So this time it was President Trump taking to the Twitter early yesterday morning and attacking Chuck Schumer and writing the following: the terrorists came into our country through what is called the diversity visa lottery program, a Chuck Schumer beauty. I want merit-based. We are fighting hard for merit-based immigration. No more Democrat lottery systems. We must get much tougher and smarter. And of course, the Senate Minority Leader responded by saying, gee, I guess it didn't take the president very long to politicize this. So, a Chuck Schumer beauty. Well, the reality is, this may be a terrible program. We should have a debate about it. Maybe in this age of lone wolf terrorists, you can't have a diversity lottery program, or you need one that is run with much stricter controls. But by immediately pinning it on Schumer, who had nothing to do with the attack, we are headed down the road again of finger pointing. The law in question that created this diversity program was passed in 1990 with bipartisan support. Chuck Schumer, then a congressman, was just one of many co-sponsors, and it was signed into law by George H.W. Bush. So again, maybe it's a good program, maybe it's a terrible program, maybe it's a program that's outlived its usefulness, but I don't think it helps the cause of national unity to be singling out one Democratic senator for a, let's do the math here, more than 25-year-old program that was signed by a Republican president. Now, having said all that, there is a sort of a grim ritual to these things, breaking news coverage and all of that, and everybody trying to find out why this guy did it. And again, as in the case of the Las Vegas shooter, the indications are, although clearly he shouted Allahu Akbar and said to be proud of the attack. Guy's got no criminal record, he was an Uber driver. And so it is increasingly hard for law enforcement and anti-terror units to stop people from committing these acts of mass violence when there's no red flag in the form of legal purchases, criminal violations, or anything like that. This guy wasn't on any radar screen. So that's very frustrating, I think, in the war on terror. I do think, as we debate immigration, inevitable in some of these situations when it's somebody who comes from another country. This guy was a green card holder. As we debate these things, we need to keep in mind that to point a finger, Republican or Democrat, to blame someone, doesn't really aid the cause of national unity.